our third speaker for the evening. And we have Dr. Sachin Savio Mores, Assistant Professor in the Department of Sociology of Parvati Bai Chogle College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Margao, the only autonomous college in the state of Goa. He is a member of the college IQAC cell and NAC steering committee, as well as the member of several committees in the college. He has been proactive towards the well-being of students in both curricular and extracurricular activities, for which he was awarded the Best Teacher in Student-Related Activities in the college in the year 2014. He has been actively involved in innovations in teaching, learning, and evaluation, as well as research, with 10 research paper publications and 10 research paper presentations. He has also visited the countries like Sweden and Japan on international student-teacher exchange program. We welcome you, Dr. Mores, and invite you for your presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for that nice introduction. And I'm more than overwhelmed and happy to be here today to make a presentation on student support and progression. And I'm basically going to talk about an integrated systemic approach with reference to student support and progression. So the agenda for today is I would like to introduce to the idea of student support and progression from a NACian view, then towards an integrated and systemic approach, talk about the three important aspects within this criterion, that is student support, student progression, student participation in activity, and finally conclude. You would see that the student support and progression is reflected when you talk about the efforts of an institution to provide necessary assistance to students to enable them to acquire meaningful experience for learning at the campus. I have specifically highlighted this meaningful experience for learning at the campus because this is what is the major focus of today's presentation. And secondly, and to facilitate their holistic development and progression. This is another thing which the presentation is going to focus upon. It also looks into students' performance and alumni profiles and the progression of students to higher education and gainful employment. This is again the two other aspects which the presentation would focus upon. So as we see, the criteria and criteria 5 is based on these 4 parameters of student support, student progression, student participation in activities, and alumni engagement. We at Chogle College focus on all 4, but nevertheless, our best practice is best captured in the first 3, that is student support, student progression, and students' participation in activities. Going further, what NAC means by student support and the facilitating mechanism. As we see that when we talk about from the NAC view, it looks at guidance, placement cell, grievance redressal cell, welfare measures to support students. Specially designed inputs are provided to the needy students with learning difficulties. Provisions are made to various types of students to take care of them. So this is what basically NAC focuses on when you look at student support facilitating mechanisms. Whereas when we look at 5.2, that is students progression, this basically is related to the institution's concern for the students' progression to higher studies and employment. That is the most important thing that you find. So Chogle College here is an undergraduate and a postgraduate college, and mainly the focus of the college is either to help students to get into higher education or help them to get gainfully employed. The next point, that is 5.3, students' participation in activities. Basically the NAC focuses here on the institution's role in promoting inclusive practices for social justice and better stakeholder relationships. So these are the main things that NAC focuses on. But nevertheless, although NAC presents that these are the three main pointers here, we would be looking each of them in greater detail. Coming to the next point, towards an integrated and a systemic approach. So this is first that I would like to focus upon here, that what we at Chogle College have done. And you will see that as every institution earlier presented by a principal presented that there is a vision and a mission for every college, you would see that in our college as well, we have a mission to be among the global leaders in imparting relevant education of highest standard in a disciplined and conducive environment. So when we look at this disciplined and conducive environment, so the vision is to be among global leaders in imparting relevant education of highest standard in a disciplined and conducive environment. And here specifically, through what we are trying to propagate in the college is by integrating this particular vision of providing discipline and conducive environment in the students. Second is the mission to continue to be pioneers of change using cutting edge educational inputs and technology, providing equal opportunities to all and inculcating social and moral values that will transform society and nation at large. So when we are integrating the vision and the mission in the college, we see that this mission and vision propels the sailing of the college in following the right route to the desired destination of all the criterias, and that's all 7 criterias, and not excluding student support and progression. So the first thing was for us in the part of this integration was to create a system. And in this specific aspect, you see the vision and the mission of the college contributes in the recurrent practices relating to the student support and progression across time, which develops into a system or a structure. The next thing is embedding the system in the curriculum. The system that we spoke of, that is recurrent practices of student support and progression, is embedded into the curriculum design and implementation. So what we found interesting in this aspect is that when we talk about student support and progression, we all know that students play a very vital role in the college and they are at the center stage. Without the students, we are nowhere. And therefore, it becomes very essential that we provide with all possible support to them. Now, to see that every student is not lost in this quest of excellence, because many a times we see like there are students, only those who excel would be given a lot of attention, to excel in whatever they would like to. We at Chogle College devised a system that would help each and every student excel in whatever way they can based on their potentials. So here, as you see, towards an integrated and systemic approach, how did we do this? So as you see, the first thing was the curriculum design. The components that are listed in the curriculum design here are made up of 4 components. Component A is of subject-specific courses. Component B is foundation courses. Component C is extracurricular activities. And component D is internship. Looking at these 4 components, specifically in the last 2, these are directly related to what we talk about, the several activities that take place within the college. But nevertheless, at Chogle College, we are focused on all the 4 components of providing students with the required support. And this was done with the help of a 4-point strategy that was adopted in the college for student progression. The 4-point strategy is firstly redesigning of the curriculum. Second is relooking at the teaching, learning and evaluation. Third is faculty training and orientation. And last was creating conducive environment for learning. This strategy was called as CTTE, strategy for students progression. So as you see here, that the E, such as creating conducive environment for learning, which we would refer to as the student support, is embedded in all the 4 components of the curriculum. And thus, what do we mean by that this was embedded in the curriculum? So as you see in this particular figure, how do we provide conducive environment for enhancing the skills of the students is by focusing on 4 broad areas. One is institutional policies, 2 is the infrastructure support, 3 is the student support service center, and 4 is the student activity clubs. So in all of these 4, by focusing on each of these, we have been able to provide with a conducive environment for enhancing the skills of the students in the college. And thus, I will take you one by one to each of these. Coming to the first thing, that was institutional practices or policies that were adopted. The college took proactive measures in policy designing, developing actions plan, and implementing means to enhance design and content and delivery of the programs within departments and institution as a whole. The policies were basically student-centered. This gave the students clarity of the program and a way to support with the end in mind. The second one was with respect to infrastructure. You see that the college did provide appropriate resources and infrastructure for effective teaching learning, which was very crucial in the curriculum. And this was specifically made up of 4 major points. That was ICT in teaching, learning, and evaluation. B was the Wi-Fi enabled campus with all types of labs. C, student support service center, and D, student activity center. Talking about further with respect to the student support, what have we done at college? You would see that the student support service center, which was earlier spoken by our principal, Dr. N. Savan, we see that this center plays a vital role in the college. It promotes varied graduate attributes for different programs, and basically this was the main aim for which the student support service center was established way back in 2010. Under this umbrella of SSS, we provide support services in 6 areas. That is internship center, academic writing, statistical center, career counseling, personal counseling, and research writing. Each of these centers play a very vital role in providing the required support to the students. When we talk about the internship center, it takes care of all the liaising with the different agencies so that we could provide with internship for our students. The second is the academic writing. This takes care of students' writing of assignments in a structured format that has been provided by the college, and also their dissertations or projects that they need to do for the undergraduate as well as the postgraduate level. The statistical center further enhances the different projects, research undertaken at the college, and plays a very significant role in enhancing the quality of the research. Career counseling as well as personal counseling plays a key role in tackling several types of issues arising from the students as well as from the teachers that they face during their work over here. Lastly, research writing also plays an important role in providing with a certain hands-on practice that is required by the students in order to make their writing more meaningful and fruitful. The table just shows us a glimpse of the number of visits made by students to the writing center as well as the number of students who have visited. The fourth one, that is the student activity center, was again installed and inaugurated with the idea of catering to the extracurricular activities in the college. Now, the extracurricular community engagement is claimed to enhance a graduate's employability by combining experiential learning, coursework, and perhaps community service. So the college started this center for providing a space for administrative and student support to fulfill the outcome of enhancing the leadership skills, communication skills, task execution skills, recognize their responsibilities, and build team spirit, and thus building their emotional intelligence. So under the Student Activity Center, there are three broad types of activities that takes place and which are centered around the clubs, which earlier Dr. Sawant spoke about. These clubs can be broadly divided under three areas. One, that is curricular, which refers to the subject-centered as well as the evaluated credits that have been covered under this. Two is co-curricular, mainly subject-centered, non-evaluative. Third is extracurricular, that is interest-centered or rather non-evaluative credits. Now, going by the structure of the club system, which is so very unique to Chogle College, we see that the club system is at the institutional level as well as at the departmental level. So these are uh, broadly categorized into curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular, as stated earlier. Next, I would like to focus upon student progression. So here, as spoken earlier, the 4-point strategy that was adopted for the conducive environment for enhancing skills of student, it does contribute to the student progression. And the student progression could be traced to the vertical movement of students from one level of education to the next higher level, that is gainful employment. So when we talk about student progression, as earlier, which was pinpointed in the form of what NAC also presents, is we are looking at two broad areas. One is where employment is concerned, and the other one is higher education. Secondly, we also look at student progression in our college, which is very unique, is with reference to internship. And internship, which is ingrained into the curriculum, is also plays a very vital role in providing students with the hands-on experience of work even before getting into their actual careers. Large number of students of Chogle College have moved in this direction, and this further validates the goal of the college. So when we are looking at student progression, we have several examples in college that we have and which have been spoken earlier by Dr. Sawant that highlight this point, that how the support provided by the college in the form of the 4-point strategy listed earlier has helped these students to to excel in different areas, whether it is academics, whether it is sports, whether it is other type of activities that they undertake. You would see that we can find student progression. Just to share a little bit of when we talk about student progression, you will see that quite a large number of students in this table have been doing extremely well, whether it's by enrolling themselves into higher studies or getting placements at different industries or organizations as part of their employment. We also look at the reference to student progression, that is internship, which has become a part and parcel of our college as part of the component D that we talk about, which has 4 credits. And right from the year 2016-17, we see that internships have been increasing. More and more number of students have been going for internships and doing quite well. So each of the years you see in this table that the internship figures speak for us. And basically to share with you an example of an internship was of a student who did an internship with a management company recently in Goa, and she was basically working as an HR executive in the company as part of the sociology program. She had gone for an internship there. Having got her an internship into this company for HR management in a hotel, with that particular experience, she thought that this was probably the right career that she could go in for. And then later on, as she graduated, she is enrolled for an MBA program and specifically focusing on HR. Examples like this present to us that with the help of internship, what it does is that it actually gives you a hands-on experience of how would work be like when you actually pass out from college. And many a times this internship does help. There's another example of a student who was interning with a school as part of an internship where she wanted to get into teaching later on. The student went to the school and did an internship for a month and came back and shared her experience with us. Well, later on, she just realized that she had big plans to do her bachelor's and then go and do a B.Ed program. But after going to this internship program at the school, she realized that school teaching was not her cup of tea. So internship plays both. It actually has both roles to play. It also it gives you a hands-on experience and tells you whether you are actually made for that work or you're not. And thus, this would save students valuable time in the future once graduating to decide again on their future careers. Going further, we see that students' participation in varied activities is also another important aspect that the college has played a vital role in looking at. There are two major points that we see here under students' participation in activity. Over here, you will find that the first thing was systematizing student activities to non-evaluative credit. In this particular aspect, the college took very keen interest in the outcomes of autonomy, and that was a shift of the responsibilities from the institution to the departments and vice versa. We would refer to this as decentralization, and this has immensely helped in the areas of activities. Non-evaluative credit system allowed the institution to reach out to each and every student in terms of them joining one activity or another. Hence, each and every student have completed at least 60 hours in either sports, NCC, NSS, club activities, cultural exchange programs, learning life skills, college events, and that sums up to around 180 hours that are spread across 6 semesters. These give them a total of 6 credits which the students have to undertake. Further, providing autonomy in organizing activities under the club system. Chogle College has always been in the forefront for creating an encouraging atmosphere for students to express themselves through activities organized in the college as well as those organized by the other institution. Now, when we talk about activities, the complete autonomy in organizing these activities at the club system has been provided, and as a result, we see a scale up in these activities over a period of years. Now, as we see, the activities take place both at the institutional level as well as the departmental levels. We see that the activities can be broadly classified into curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular. And here we see under curricular, we have listed out NSS, NCC, and sports, which are actually done by any other college. But apart from this, we also have internship as a part of the curricular activity. And nevertheless, those sports, we see that when in different colleges in India, that you have varied sports that have been promoted in the college and students go in for it. What we find is that only a few students take part in these as team effort or some sort of a coaching that has been provided. Nevertheless, at Chogle College, it is mandatory that every student takes part in some sport or the other, and sports test is mandatory for all. This basically ensures that every student is working on their fitness at some level or the other. Secondly, we see in co-curricular activities, we have walkathons, sports Olympics, and so on, which have been organized at the institutional level, and also extracurricular activities like Tastu, beach cleaning, and there are more than 30 plus clubs that take care of several other extracurricular activities that take place in the college. So again, looking at these activities, you find that they have been divided into different activities that take place throughout the year, and you find them in the form of event days, then Latin American days, author personality days, and so on. In the co-curricular activities, you'll find visits, industrial spaces, workshops, alumni talks, seminars, conferences, and so on. And extracurricular, you'll find departmental events as well as club events that take place. Just to share you a few examples that I have with you very quickly, and how these work. Like the Department of Economics, you have in every course something or the other that has been planned for the students. That is industrial visit, e-governance of panchayat and municipality, consumer survey, interview with the entrepreneur, visit to the strawberry farm, student waste management on the campus, and so on. I have another example in the form of the Department of English that undertakes a lot of activities in the department, and this again can be divided into three broad areas. If you look at the curricular activities that take place, you have the club Carpe Diem or the Du Bois library tie-up for open mic performances, as well as some poetry day that they organize. They also have co-curricular activities in the form of the newsletters, which every department are supposed to undertake in the form of what they call it as writing for media, ether or vlogs. Also, they have the tabula rasa, which are all in the form of newsletters or news magazines, which they come up with. They also have different days celebration, the Goa Day, the Latin American Day, and so on. And again, with respect to their co-curricular activity, they also have the Shakespeare Festival, and also a lot of literature like the Comic-Con that happens in Mumbai. They do take part in that. So this ensures that there is a lot of exposure given to students, and every department has a calendar like this which they follow. Like all across courses, you will find that there are several activities which are related to it, and this also helps in the establishment of the course outcomes of the respective courses, which give them hands-on experiential type of an experience that we find. Just to share you a few images of the Department of Sociology, that you have several events and activities that take place. These are very quickly that you could see that what happens in the department. So whether it's your college social science, teacher interaction, inter-college faculty interaction, whether it's students taking part in the seminar or taking part in some cultural activities, you also have a research workshop, that then also awards being distributed to the students. All of these help us and give us an idea about how the decentralization has happened at the departmental level. So the students' participation in the varied activities is definitely a success. We find that all students are a part of at least 2 clubs. No student is left behind. Fitness is a focus of all students. Departmental activities are encouraged, and therefore you find a lot of students inculcating critical thinking, real-time problem solving, and application of skills. There is feedback of graduate students that they are well-adjusted, competent, and superior. There is a phenomenal rise in the conduct and participation of activities, as each club conducts at least 5 activities a year, which has raised the total number of activities by the clubs to about 200 activities as of 2018-19. The least year of the students' participation in activity, the table, gives us an idea of across at different levels, whether it's an institutional level, departmental level, organized, that is workshops, talks, student club activities, community outreach, you find that it has increased by leaps and bounds from 2014-15 to 2018-19. And thus, this has been possible mainly because of the support or the 4-point strategy that we spoke of earlier, the embedment of making student support and progression as a part and parcel of our curriculum, that it has been enshrined into it in the form of the 10 credits that we have, 6 for the non-evaluative that we talk of, the different types of activities that take place, as well as the 4 for internship. And this is made possible. You find students also taking part in state level activities, national level activities, as well as international activities, and winning laurels and medals for the college. Thus, all of these does not happen easily. We do face challenges, and we require a lot of will to undertake this activity. So some of the challenges that we're facing is management of the large number of students, participation, having a documentation of the credits or the values, that they make up for in each of these activities, the finances of the clubs and the other type of activities that take place, as well as equipment and space in the college, becomes a major challenge. Nevertheless, since it is a student-run activity where college has provided students with the autonomy to undertake the activities, they do manage the space very well. Coming to the end of my presentation, I would like to conclude that an integrated systemic approach towards student support and progression ensures not only the administrative requirements of varied agencies of quality assessment, but it also fulfills the inherent value of the institutions. This is one of the most important points. When you make this a part of your system, it caters to the inherent value that an institution gives to every student, that is the holistic development of each and every student. The four broad institutional strategy of providing conducive environment of learning, that is giving them the student support, is strongly correlated to the student progression and student participation in activities as presented earlier. Thus, this type of an approach and its operationalization in the form of integrating it as a part of system ensures, and this is very important to be kept in mind, because many a times we see that the students who excel will be always given with, like you put it in a simple words, like if someone is eating bread and jam, you will give the person extra butter because he's already happy with the jam that he has. And this is what happens with students who excel. We keep giving them different things at different point of time to excel, but in this process many large majority of the students are left behind because they are the ones who are the favorite. But at Chogle College, not a single student is left behind. And this is the major focus that ensures that every student is taken care of. And this is what we do over here. So once again, I thank one and all, and I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir, for your stimulating presentation.